Hey guys, welcome back to Kamerastore. We're here with Nuno from Kamerastore.com, and we're going to be talking about TLRs, which I think are one of those cameras that is coming back slowly but surely, even though there's no new ones.
Yeah, and what TLR stands for, it means twin lens reflex. So what that actually means that there's two lenses. The down one is the taking lens, and the one is with a mirror that is a fixed mirror. So this is the looking lens up here. So it will reflect the light to the finder, and this one will just take the photo to the film
directly.
plane.
Yeah, so in a way, the lens on the bottom is mirrorless.
Yeah.
And the lens on the top, which is the viewing lens that you mentioned, is the one you see. They're always matching lenses. So of course, if it's an 80mm lens, both are 80. If it's a 75, they're both 75. There's a couple lenses, at least on Rolleiflex, there's 3 models, if I'm not wrong. The normal ones, then the wide and the tele lens.
Yeah, on the Flexes we have, this is of course the premium model. This is the with a wider aperture, but there was a wide Rollie and tele Rollie. And yeah, like we have to go back to the history about to talk about why these were so significant cameras. This was the press photographers after the large format era, of the speed graphic era. This was the press photographer's tool to use. Why? I think it's the size. You get a 6x6 medium format negative from a size of your palm, and it's very quiet to use. It's just a leaf shutter, so you can. Back in the day, they used a lot of flash with these cameras. So
yeah, because they sync at every speed. When you're using a leaf shutter, basically any speed you're shooting, it'll fire, no problem. And another thing is, as you said, you're quiet because the lens doesn't have to have any mirror. It's straight directly pointing to the film. It's always closed. Then when you take the picture, it opens. So you barely can hear the shot. Many times when you're shooting a camera like this, you doubt that you took a picture because you take it and that sound is so quiet that it's extremely nice. Also, I think for people who are walking around the streets that you maybe want to take some picture and don't want to get noticed, that whole higher viewing point is very nice.
Yes, and now you mentioned that this is of course a weight level finder, so I think the typical use was, how to use this was you hold it against your body so it's stabilized, and you focus here and you take the photo. You can use a lower shutter speed when it's balanced through your body. And of course there was another way to use this camera. If you're in a crowd, you flip the camera upside down and you can actually use it like a periscope to shoot from the upper angle.
Yeah.
And of course we have in the table, we have here a
pentaprism.
Pentaprism you can change to some of the models. You can actually use a normal type of, if you're into this type of...
So instead of shooting so much looking down, you can actually have your camera up to your face. And for that, some of the cameras had some interesting solutions which involved different little mirrors on the viewfinder that would let you shoot like this instead of having a pentaprism. Right now, I don't know if Nuno knows how to do this model because each one is a little different, but you basically could push the little...
Let's try with this model. I think we have some better luck with this. So, and this was called a sports finder. So pretty much what you did, you actually look through here, and you can frame it. You can see the frame here, and you just beep,
shoot it.
And you can pretty much use the scale focus here, the focusing knob, and you can pretty much set it to what's your aperture here and take the photo that way.
Yeah, there's multiple brands in the TLR world. Right now on the table we have, I think, some of the most searched for cameras. We have the Rolleiflex, which are, like you said, some of the top of the line, the 2.8 f aperture. There's a 3.5, which is also very good. Then I think this is a Rolleicord, which is what they would be considered a bit more serious amateur.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking back in the day when they came out. They're still kind of apply. And then these were some of the models that were more focused for maybe amateurs, which Yashica. And doesn't mean they're bad. It just means they were a little less quality. And nowadays they're probably the most recommended camera for starting on TLRs.
Yeah, and the tips to recognize which models were not so good. I think the easiest is to look for, this is called a bayonet mount, so bay mount. So you can actually mount filters. On the cheaper models, they were just drop-in filters or no filter at all. And I think if you find a good aperture and shutter speed control, that will tell you that it's at least some better model. And of course, these were professional cameras, so pretty much every single TLR has a nice lens on it. Of course, there's exceptions with some lower end models, but yeah, these were made for professionals use pretty much.
And then if you want to get a little bit more, let's say, serious, not more serious than a Rolleiflex, which I think is probably top of the line, there's some interesting solutions from, for example, Mamiya.
Yes, thank you for bringing it up, because these are fixed lens, both lenses are fixed, but there was a line by Mamiya, the C series. You can actually take the whole...
The front, both lenses together come out.
It was an interchangeable lens camera. You can have wide angles, tele lenses, all in one system, and the Mamiya cameras even has a bellow system, like you can find on the RB, so you can actually focus very closely. But now we get into the disadvantage of this TLR system, and that is parallax. And what parallax means, that we have the taking lens here, the view length and the taking lens here, but they are not, of course, they are not the same
at the same height. So basically, there's one that points one way, and the one you're shooting far away, it's not, you don't notice it too much.
Yeah,
but when you're shooting close up.
Yeah, when you're taking close up, the one image you see here can be actually you chop off your head or chop off from the chin. So some of the nicer models, let's say the Rolleiflex, had some of the models has a parallax correction, and the later model of Mamiya C series, the C330, etc.
It has a little line that goes through the focusing screen, and that way that basically gives you the top of the image, and you have to imagine the bottom of the image, which is usually fairly doable. Another feature of some of these TLRs, which not all of them, is interchangeable focusing screens, which is very nice, especially because the age of the camera shows sometimes on the focusing screens. But they're extremely small, like we mentioned, extremely discreet in the noise, because when you go out to the streets and you're shooting with family or with friends or just, strangers, these cameras bring people smiles. Like, they always come to you. They always ask you, oh, what are you doing? Is that a real camera? Does it work? And I think it's a great conversation starter.
Yeah, and I think one of the big reasons that it is also stealthy is that you're just holding it here and you're looking at there. You're not covering your face. You're not behind the camera. You're not,
intimidating.
Some people are very, they are afraid of why you're taking a photo of me. Like, is this something? What's happening? This is not intrusive. This is easy and fun. And this waist level finder actually gives you a new point of view, because most of the time you're shooting from your eye point. You're standing up. All your photos are from this level, but and you can actually point it up a little bit and get a new angle. So this is a cool experience. I think everyone that is into film photography or medium format should actually try a TLR camera.
No, I've been using them for a little bit. I never get great results because I think they don't work with me, but they're amazing. Like, there's very, very famous photographers out there. We're not going to name anyone because I think it's not meant to be the purpose of this video, but you should check it out because there's some amazing work done with this, and they still do amazing shooting. Like the 2.8 planar on the Rolleiflexes just have a rendition and a 3D pop. Like, medium format has something else. And then there's some very, very low entry points like the Lubitel, which if you're more into toy photography or like fun lomography style, also work very well.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the Lubitel, which actually means in Russian a beginner, so it points out that it's a beginner's camera. And you have to remember, this was the biggest photography craze in the 50s. Every single brand were making some of TLR cameras. And most of them have the Flex name of them coming from the reflex mirror.
No, there was Olympus, there's like Beauty Flex, there's Seagull, there's so many. And yes, we have the most common, I think, the Rolleiflex, Rolleicord, Yashica, Mamiya are probably the top of the line. But there's many others that you can check, and it becomes a very long hole to go through, and it's extremely interesting.
Yeah, and I think we have to mention, these were starting in the 50s, but the Yashica 124G was actually one of the latest models to be produced. Of course, Rolly made some special models like the GX in the later in the years, but yeah, this was such a wide variety of cameras, brands, and features. Like these features, a light meter inside. The Mamiya features interchangeable lenses. The Rolleiflex had the wide angle, the tele. There's something for each type of shooting scenarios.
Yeah, I think what you mentioned about the light meter is quite interesting. Is there's not many cameras in the TLR. The latest Rolleis, the GX and I think FX, if I'm not wrong, did have a bit of an LED going in there, which is nice. But they're more premium cameras. And when Rolleiflex closed, like all those parts and everything got scattered, so they're not so easy to find and usually collectible cameras. But yeah, if you're into serious photography and you want to have some fun and you don't mind handheld metering, these cameras are amazing. And street photographers have been using them for decades, and I think nowadays they have that extra fun when you're bored of maybe an SLR or you know, a rangefinder. This has that extra look. So yeah, let us know what you think. Remember, there's an article at kamerastore.com. And yeah, thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Bye.